I wish you guys the best with your Yum Yum podcast.
Yum, yum.
Hello, Rachel.
Hello, Ryan.
How are you doing?
Okay. It's the tipping point. It's a big episode. I'm excited to talk about it. I'm sad about it. I'm happy about it. It's a lot of things. A lot of things.
How about I reassure you? We are here today to talk about the halfway point episode of Killjoys. That's right. We are halfway through the series now. You, Rachel, are a first-time watcher. I am coming at this as a rewatcher. This is my first time ever revisiting the series, and what an episode we have here today on Yum Yum Podcast. The podcast named after an infamous moment from Star Trek Discovery. Yeah, that's right. Believe it or not, Star Trek Discovery had an infamous moment. I'm reeling from that idea, but it did, and we named ourselves after it. And we like to sit down and talk about episodes of science fiction television. Currently, we are going through Killjoys. And Rachel, I'm sure you have a beautiful summary for us with this episode, Season 3, Episode 5.
I sure do. It's time to clean up the ranks of the rack. Meanwhile, Dulcea Kendry is testing out her new rank in Hullen HQ.
Attack the Rack is the name of this particular entry, and boy, do they do exactly that. They attack the rack.
But Anila does too.
Oh, she attacks all of the racks except for our one. The one that we have a set for. We don't attack that one. Rachel, we keep that one, so we have more episodes to play around with in that set. But we love to keep note of what was the yum yum factor of Killjoys. Yum yum, as I said, was an infamous line of dialogue from Star Trek Discovery, but what else was it, Rachel?
A strange moment that confused, intrigued us, and entertained us. And, you know, the more we thought about it, the more funny we found it. Which is why we bring the yum yum to all of our projects. And for Killjoys, the yum yum moment of each episode is what we found particularly funny. Killjoys is a funny show. So, Ryan, what's your pick for this episode?
They made a choice. And that choice was Hannah John-Kamen needs to take her pants off. We need her in her underwear for this episode. And that made me laugh because the absolute blatancy of it, the pig-headedness of the production being like, look, we are here to give a little bit of sex factor to the show, and we don't know how to do it in this episode, so, I don't know, her pants are wet, so she takes them off because they're stinky, so she's gonna run around with just in her underwear, and you're gonna have a good look. Look, she's jumping over a stairwell in that tight underwear. And I found it so sleazy that I was taken aback and found it funny. I was genuinely like, wow, this is funny, because this show's horny, and we've talked about that many times over.
One of my notes is horny all the way through.
Horny all the way through. And we haven't got this level of horniness with Dutch specifically in what feels like a little while.
A little while, yeah.
A little while. Like, I
They've
feel
been
like
neglecting.
Yeah, I feel like we've
like
had
she
some...
had sex with Alphys.
Yeah, but it was much more tasteful.
But, yeah.
I feel like season 1, they got her in her underwear a lot more. They're like pure, just like, here she is in bra and
when
panties.
she's pretending to be a rich bitch.
Or when she was just like having generic sex, like, oh, I'm just having transactional sex. Like, we got a little bit of a titillation there. But this episode, they said, hey, This season's all about calling back to the first, so let's do it again, baby. And I laughed. But what about you? What was your yum yum laugh?
This is just a line that is so Killjoys in its kind of humor, which is I'm pretty sure it's Turin. That's the rainbow at the end of this shit nami.
Oh, what a series. The writing may be crude at times, definitely, but we love it for that. And a part of the crudeness is the dropping of the word bitch, and we only got 2 in this episode. They
But how
held
many
back.
balls?
How many balls?
Didn't they say balls a bunch in this episode?
They did say balls. I forgot to do my bowl count,
I
but
included
did you?
it in the breakdown.
But did you? But did you count how many nuts were hit?
None.
None. No nuts.
No nuts.
How many episodes has it been now?
13, I think.
13. And you know what that is? An unlucky number. That's a very unlucky number. Does that mean the Killjoys streak will be broken? Will they kick a nut or 2?
But then that
in
would
the
make me
next
happy, so
episode?
that doesn't make it an unlucky number.
I guess you're right. I guess one of us will die next. I don't know.
What? Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that?
I don't know.
Huh?
So
Are you searching for balls yet?
I'm looking for bowls, and
Okay. You found some?
we found some bowls. 2 bowls, because bowl sack I'm gonna count, and bowls as in bowls. But we talked about your bowlsy and bowl eyeballs. So there was a few in this episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shanold Edwards has a thing.
Shanold Edwards is the name of the writer of this episode.
I believe so.
If that's how we pronounce the name,
Probably
I hope.
not.
I hope we in the ballpark of it. I am so intrigued by this writer because this is the only episode of Killjoys.
And most of their other credits is like multiple episodes of things.
Haven is the big one,
yeah.
of course. It always pops up. Is that a show that's good? Let us know in the comments. Is Haven
know.
good?
But they worked with the director on that show.
Ah, there's the crossover, because I was wondering how she came here, and I was actually thinking about recently, we've been on a string of like familiar names when it comes to the behind the scenes of each given episode.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, will we get new names? Will we get names like this where they're just one-offs again as well? And here we are at the midway point, and we do. And what an fascinating figure. So I looked into her a little bit.
19 writing credits.
And a bunch of producing credits as well. She is a Black woman, and a lot of her work revolves around that, from the very beginning of her career to the latest project she's working on currently.
Yes.
So that has been something that has been a part of her work, but she seems like a figure who just, you hire her and she does the job. She's never like a creator of a show. She's never like a long-term writer of a show. She's often just someone you hire for a handful of episodes, and then off she goes to the next thing. Mainly TV, 1 or 2 little short film projects here and there, or one film in particular. But she started all with Lord Have Mercy. Rachel, did you look into this? Did you look into Lord Have Mercy? Her first thing?
No, but I was like, the first couple sounded religious in nature, and I was like, I'm good not knowing more.
I love this. So Lord Have Mercy is a Canadian sitcom, and here's what it has to say about itself.
Is it about a priest?
A wildly irreverent take on the church life. Canada's first truly multicultural sitcom came out in 2003. And I love that for it. And I watched a little commercial for it. And the best way to describe it is a Tyler Perry-like production. Very theatrical, very silly, very like overwrought, over the top. And the thing she's working on currently right now is Washington Black. Another series that this is more high end, of course. It's on Disney for us. Oh, on Hulu. and that is dealing with this figure running away from Barbados. So, yeah, she really goes in on these subjects.
The three things that I noted that she's been involved in are Anne with an E,
Mm-hmm.
Sleepy Hollow, the TV show, but she also wrote for Station 19, the Grey's Anatomy spin-off.
Oh, you must have loved that. Do you love Station 19, the Grey's Anatomy spin-off?
Never watched it.
So you're not a real fan. You're not a real fan of Grey's if you haven't watched the spin-off.
I haven't watched any of the spin-offs.
You haven't watched it? They have
No, I watched Private Practice.
Yeah, I was going to say you're a liar.
But I didn't watch all of Private Practice, but that's the only one that I've watched
What?
most of, I think.
Well, thankfully, we have a returning face when it comes to the direction. It's Jeff.
But it's the last time we see him.
It's the last time we see him. Last time we saw this director was when? Sorry?
Meet the Parents last season.
Jeff Renfro is here in the director's seat. And when we think about that last episode, Meet the Parents, it had a lot of stylization to it, but this episode is much more. It has an action focus, and so he has to deliver on that, and I think he does a really good job. It's fast-paced, everything connects well, it looks good, and the performances are all wonderful. Our main cast do what they usually do, but these guest characters, they're given free reign to go ham.
You see, the beauty of this device is your low pain tolerance makes it very effective, but your soft tissue makes it very entertaining.
Oh, sounds like a dare.
Yes, I double dog dare you to watch your brother suffer.
I enjoyed this episode, but I was also frustrated by it. It is one of those episodes where you go in knowing it's going to be a table flip moment. Attack the rack. It's like, okay, well, that's gonna be a really obvious thing. But the status quo is even more changed than I was prepared for going into it. It's done really well, but it is shocking.
I'm mixed on this episode. There are things that I really enjoyed and I found captivating.
The
And
balance felt a bit off.
And most importantly, it was an entertaining episode. It was fun.
Not debatable.
There are things that annoy me, frustrate me, piss me off. And those all have their place. Like, the things that piss me off aren't new. These are things that have been previously established in the show. And so it's not as if this episode is introducing elements out of nowhere. They are things that I just have said in the past bug me. And they're here doing the thing again, and it bugs me. And I wish that they could figure out how to write Turin, for instance, as a character. He is always an asshole.
Why do you always talk about his fucking haircut?
It's because it's the one defining physical trait he has is he had long hair, and now he has slightly less long hair, but it's still long. Yeah, it's weak in that way, but the things that it does do that are good are great. We start this episode in a way that Star Trek would never, with good fashion pegging.
I had almost forgotten that is how this episode starts, and it is called back to at the end as well. Like, it continues to matter that there was pegging. And I appreciate that. I appreciate Dutch tipping the sex worker and acknowledging that they were doing all of the work.
They were doing, and they liked that. They appreciated the acknowledgement. There was an appreciation of it there. They start this episode with the pegging because we have to recruit the guy. And,
not recruit,
well,
kidnap.
Kidnap. And then recruit. Because he is another member of the Rack, but he's from a different one. He's from a different one in the J. What I love about Killjoys is they can handle certain scenes in a way that other shows fail at or have a struggle with. So the first 10 minutes of this episode is a lot of characters talking about the plan and the tech and the logistics and so on and so on and so on. And you know that it's going to go tits up because that's how stories work. But there's a snappiness, there's a devil-may-care nature and humor to this series that makes scenes like this just fly by like that. They go through all of the meticulous bits and pieces and step-by-step process, and you don't feel like you're just sitting there waiting for the inevitable. There's a momentum to it.
There is. It doesn't take you for a chump and assume that you don't see it coming. That's a part of why I don't hate it. But I like, they make us wait for a while for the reveal that it was because of a traitor. And then so quickly after that's revealed, he's dead. And I feel nothing, and I don't know if
I'm going to counter you. It's not that quick after. We don't see him until we have the reveal, and then they split off, and then he comes back later in the episode to die. But they're trying to throw you off by making it out like it's Banyan who's the traitor, or that she's the inside person that we have to deal with. And you know that's not going to be the case. I will admit that even though I've seen this episode before, I forgot that the mole was the traitor, the person on the inside that tipped off the Hullen of this attack was the other nerd. I just glossed over that because I remember that these two nerds mattered, that they did stuff. They had a couple of episodes, and when they were here in this episode, I was like, that's right, yeah, they're getting their time to shine.
Yeah, but I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, it's just a traitor. I wanted it to be something a bit smarter for how they figured it out.
Well, they didn't figure it out. That's the thing.
Yeah, they were
just
got
revealed.
Like, in my head, I came up with a more convoluted thing, which is like somehow the Hullen that they took is able to communicate, and she was a trap, and she let them know somehow. But that stuff is just separate.
With the actual attack on the Rack, the namesake of the episode, what did you actually think of their method?
Oh, I think it's really solid. Johnny's plan would have worked if they weren't betrayed. And like that's true, and it would have set the example for the other racks. But Anila had other plans for those ships.
An issue that I guess I have is there's not much of a punch to it because I don't have an attachment to the Rack itself as like an institution or a location.
It feels like they're very much tied into their local Rack.
Yes.
So yeah, it makes Dutch at a disadvantage because she can't use the resources of these other Racks. They're not going to be able to join her army. But it doesn't have any personal weight to it, really.
No, and I would also say that each time we've visited this Rack in particular, they've done some crazy breakout or attack or some elaborate scheme, and it's just another one. So that's all I know this set, this location, this place for. I wish that we had a little bit more time of it as this mundane location. I guess that's what they tried to do in the first two seasons with the bazaar, where
Oh, yeah.
You know, where they used to go to the bazaar and they used to get their jobs and then they would walk off. And in the first season, then the bazaar got attacked and it felt like things had changed. But the rack has always been a thing that we run away from or we jump in the stairwells over. Like, there's always just some, like, snafu there. So it doesn't feel uniquely special when an episode is called Attack the Rack. Because
it also...
we have already, kind of.
They've set up a division between Team Awesome Force and the Rack. It was them and Turin. They were the only ones to be trusted. And then they expanded it out. And now they're shrinking it again. It feels very logical. Like it's the overall pacing of the season and of the show. It's like, okay, they had a bit of a win and now they're on the back foot again. And they'll have a little win and then back foot and so on and so forth. And I assume that will go on until Dutch wins.
It was very efficient when they were in the rack and they gas them, cut them, see if it's them, and kill them. And then the reveal being that the Hullen are not paralyzed at all and they're pretending. And I thought the attention to detail of they have now paralyzed innocent people mattered. Like, these are now targets for the Hullen. We can't just run away. We can't just get on our ship and fucking leave. We have to stay here and fight because we have now compromised these fellow agents because we thought we had it under control and now they are just innocent lambs for the slaughter. So there is a reason for them to stay in the rack as well. Like that's the key to this episode is what's the reason for them staying? That's a great reason. It's the same thing that they were so assured about and now it's being used against them.
Yeah. And it is interesting to see our characters in that situation. And the difference between the way that what they do with Dutch and what they do with the brothers.
What about the other strike teams?
Most of their comms are offline. They're either hiding or dead. We need to abort. Get back to the black side. Have the other rack captains call for reinforcement.
They can't call for backup until they know their own racks are clean. And we can't abort because we've paralyzed every human on this goddamn station. We're the only ones who can stop the Hullen from slitting their throats.
Ammo's tight. We didn't pack for active combatants. We're outnumbered maybe 10 to 1.
We have shifted from the antagonism being one of a human creation. These evil corporations, the Nine, like a power structure, systematic oppression, to one that's much more of a sci-fi construct that's much more like elaborate with these alien parasitic beings that have a hive mind and you lose your individuality and they can promise you immortality. The mole, the traitor, betrayed them because he wanted immortality.
Yeah.
And then he got killed for it. How ironic. Well, I feel like in previous seasons, we would have had a character like this because of much more arbitrary reasons.
Yeah, it would have been less philosophical and more material.
And that's used in this episode as a bit of a discussion with Fancy and even with Dutch and Johnny as well, which is, look how easy it is for you to turn on yourselves. What's the point of fighting? And I liked that angle of it because I've been thinking about, like, have we strayed too far away from the more intimate and, like, recognizable evils of the world?
I do wonder that a bit as well because we are at that stage where they've established Anila as the clear, present, eminent threat. But we are in the stage where they are continuing to build up her presence as a villain, but also her power. So it's not just that she's there, it's just how much power control does she have? How dangerous is she actually going to be? That's still being built upon.
We have gone away from the very clear sci-fi allegory that may have been a bit ham-fisted or overt with the Company and the Nine to one that is more genre-specific of a megalomaniacal, overarching plan. And I'm not saying that that's a negative thing, but in this episode, I did feel myself missing some of those more mundane things in a weird way.
Yeah. Like, it just helps make things feel more grounded and more tangible. I had no real attachment to the geek that betrayed them. And I was just like, well, I don't care if you live or die. But there was also not a question of whether he was going to die or not. And it's just like, well, no, the Hullen don't keep their promises.
Never. And if they do, it's with a twist to it as well.
They do what serves them.
Empires always have slaves, Rachel. There's this one Hullen in this episode who looks like an evil dentist. And
Yeah, that outfit does not help.
I loved him. I loved that performance. I loved his just rictus grin as he's torturing the Jacoby brothers. He's captured them, and he needs to determine which Jacoby brother is the special one. He knows it, and he needs them to do the thing. So he grabs Johnny, the intelligent one, the smart one, and he starts fucking with his brain. And eventually is to provoke Davin into using his green goo powers. And that's important, because then they're like, okay, that's the one we need. We'll take him back to Anila. So, what do you want to say about the brothers?
I like the way that they do and don't work together to fight against their torturers. Because I was pleasantly surprised by their reaction to evil dentist being like, oh yeah, I'm not just gonna torture you. That won't get me what I want. I'm gonna make you watch me torture your brother. Because you will not give it up for your own sake, but you might give it up for his.
And I'm going to take away his valuable brain. I'm going to wipe out these memories. I'm going to reduce him bit by bit in front of you until you break.
Davin is prepared to risk himself physically. That is a huge part of how he sees himself and sees his benefit to the team. And he knows that Johnny's brain is that for him, as well as, oh my God, that like this person that I love and that I care about and we have shared history, they may be disappearing very quickly in front of me.
One of the elements, too, that I think is very, very, very expertly handled is the question that you raise, which is, Davin, why aren't you using your powers? You have the ability to take these people out. You have powers. That's a problem. You know, when you give a character powers, you have to come up with reasons for why they can't use them. It's something we struggled with in Babylon 5, where why did JMS always want to have a telepath character when he didn't want them at all? Because if you had them, so many things could be wrapped up. But he wanted it because of these metaphors and these thematic reasons and these sci-fi reasons. Killjoys, one of the main characters, has like these godlike powers. And in this episode, you ask yourself, well, why aren't you using them? And the reason is, smartly, both of them are saying to each other, like, we can't, like, the powers can't be used here because once they're used, they'll know that you're the one that has them and they'll take you away because they want them. They want you.
The other one will be killed. They have that understanding of if and when they get the information, Johnny's dead and Davin will disappear. And it's like they've already had that sort of threat situation come to fruition with Klein taking Davin away. And it was a lot of effort to get him back that time. And now this is an even bigger force, an even bigger distance that would be insurmountable. They struggled with even thinking that getting him back off Arkin was going to be achievable.
Let alone from a fleet of ships that will be impenetrable if they take Davin because they can't use their fleet of ships.
Can instantaneously jump to different parts of the galaxy.
Yeah, it was actually fascinating this episode to be told that Anila has no interest in going to the Quad, but is slowly being turned there because of Delsea. Because where is she going? Is she just hovering about the place? But the things about Anila are still left in the dark for us, the viewer. But we know that because of what Davin did last episode, appearing to her, it's caught her interest. And he has the same abilities and powers that she does. He is not unique. He is not special anymore. He is like the central antagonist of the show. The line has been drawn between the two of them as a connection.
And there's the obvious visual connection and Klein connection between Anila and Dutch.
There's a package I need collected. Bell Squad is closest to coordinates.
Phil Squad monitors the Quad. After Kendry's misguided warrant for the Killjoy, I thought we agreed the Quad was of no strategic value.
Oh, did we? Poor Kendry's been feeling homesick, so I thought I'd bring her back something pretty from her galaxy. Ooh.
The show is in the Johnny Must Suffer arc.
Yeah.
Like for basically a season now worth of time, he has been in the we must make him suffer because Aaron Ashmore just has such a likable face that you don't want to see it sad. Is it too much?
Oh, it doesn't feel too much in each moment. But when I sit back and think of it holistically, I'm like, damn, what are they doing to him? But then I think about it back in context, and I'm like, okay, no, that makes sense, and that makes sense. And like, it's like his troubles are to the forefront. When season 1 was very much Davin struggling his way through life.
Very much.
So it just feels like it does feel like this is the stage that we are at. And there is a reason why everything's happening. It doesn't feel like they're just shitting on the character.
And everyone suffers in this show. Even in this episode, other characters suffer. Dutch, to an extent, she feels guilty. She feels remorseful.
She did kill an innocent person.
That's exactly why. She killed an innocent person. And after coming off of the episode last where Johnny said to her that she could stop, but she chooses not to because she likes it, killing people. It's just such a harrowing statement to think about right away, because in this episode, she, without a second thought in her head, she just goes on pure killer instinct and fucking stabs Banyan.
Like, it looks like she's about to just gut her.
And she does end up killing Banyan. Banyan doesn't die straight away. She bleeds out, but Dutch is responsible for it. And it is like, no shock at all. Banyan was just a normal person. She wasn't a Hullen. She wasn't evil. She was just a person doing their fucking job.
I never
and
believed
Dutch
that
murdered
she
her for
was.
it. I don't think we were supposed to believe it. I think it was just Dutch had like a grudge out against this woman, but why?
Yeah. It's like, oh no, Dutch, you're about to fuck up. Oh no, you fucked up and now she's dead.
Well, Dutch and Turin are in this interesting spot because they say that they're fighting for the Rack, but now they're having to act outside of what it is. So they're not going to stop and do the rules and regulations and all the rigmarole that Banyan is. And we see it come to like a bloody fruition here, where she just is not going to stop and have a pleasant chat with Banyan and go over things in a meeting. She's going to fucking kill her. And it's for all the wrong reasons. It's for the worse. And I want to know, what do you think about Banyan overall, and like how they handled her and where we went with her and how we ended up here? Because there is a definite melancholy at the end. There is a definite sense of like...
I don't feel any particular way about Banyan. I feel a little bit of like, damn, Dutch, you fucked up. And you know you fucked up, but you aren't going to learn your lesson from this straight away, is the feeling that I'm getting. Because it's like, oh no, I messed up, but got to keep pressing forward, got to water fight. There's always the justification for Dutch. So it doesn't feel like this is going to be immediately addressed and unpacked, but it is going to maybe have a lasting impact either implicitly or explicitly.
It works really well for this episode because it's about distrust. It's about the fear of the other. It's about the fear of being infiltrated. And at the end of the day, someone who's been overtly who they are isn't good enough. It isn't good enough that Banyan has clearly just shown herself to be someone doing the morally upright thing and upholding the law. She hasn't presented herself in like a mischievous way or in a villainous way. She has just been an obstacle. And her obstacle has been doing the job, which is to uphold the law and find other members of the Rack who are missing. And it's been an inconvenience for Dutch.
Yeah,
at best.
It's like they assumed, well, Dutch in particular assumed that because Banyan was being an obstacle, therefore in like some definitions being an antagonist to Dutch, that meant that she was a villain.
Not even just a Hullen, a villain. Because it only feels like this is the episode where she's like, oh, she's a Hullen, I can stab her. Because Banyan's up and about during this attack and she should be paralyzed. Oh, so she's a Hullen.
She's just a good agent.
That's how it came across to me of, I don't feel like Dutch is believed fully or at all.
I don't either.
And I actually felt tremendously sad for Banyan because she has been on the level. We, the audience, have seen her just be on the level. The characters themselves, they have barely even had to be told off by her because she is that efficient at her fucking job. She just knows that they know stuff that they're not telling. But think back on all of this conversations she's had with them. Pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Pretty level-headed.
That's part of why I never believed that she was the villain that Dutch was convinced that she was.
But I don't think the show was trying to pull that trick either.
No,
I think it was just saying
that's what they were aiming for.
I think it's more a case of Dutch needs someone to be angry against.
And somebody who's there. Anila isn't in her face. She can't touch her yet.
And Neela's also just a reflection of herself. Like, that's very clear because
that brings up daddy trauma.
Daddy trauma gets brought up in these last few episodes. Is this what she's doing it for because she's got daddy trauma? Is that good enough to wage war across the stars? No, I actually did feel a lot for Banyan because also they shot it and performed it just very bluntly. Like, the level of which it was played was so downbeat and off the cuff that I did find it genuinely upsetting because, you know, what does it say about our characters that they're fighting for so much and yet they're not even willing to tolerate just basic interactions anymore? Like, they're fighting for the rack, but they're having to take down the rack. And he is an actual representative of the thing that they're apparently fighting for, and they have no time for it at all.
Yeah, it is kind of sad. I didn't think about it in that, like, with that lens.
And you think about it when you look at the Turin and Fancy story. Fancy has proved himself, has been an ally. He's literally been purged of the evil, and yet, with very little to push him, Turin distrusts him, fears him, keeps him in a cage. And I can't help but draw that comparison with Banyan. Like, he is Banyan and he is Fancy. Both of them have just been who they are, not being, duplicitous, being very upfront. And what's their reward for it? From the people who are supposed to be our glorious heroes.
There is no reward, only punishment.
They get punished for it. Both of them get punished for it. And this episode makes our heroes look like assholes.
I was so angry at the way that Turin treated Fancy. Because it made sense and it didn't feel right. Which is an interesting trick for them to pull off, right? And I don't know if that's the way that they intended it to be. But because Turin he's arrogant. He thinks that he knows best. He believes in the rack. We know that he is influenced by other people and that he is really insecure about who can he trust. And for that to play out in his interactions with Fancy and for that to lead to Fancy leaving makes sense. But it also feels wrong because Fancy has done nothing but prove himself. So you understand why Turin does what he does, but you are all, I felt like, yeah, that's a stupid choice that he would make.
I'm pissed off with him in general.
Like,
I'm over
Turin.
I'm over him, man.
Like,
he needs to be more competent, so that way when he fucks up, it
feels like a difference.
It feels like there's a contrast. Because
it just feels like he's nothing but a fuck up.
And I don't know why they trust him at all or have him be in positions of power. He hasn't really shown himself.
It's just because he's already in charge of the rack and he has resources that they can use. But then we see that their resources are more useful than his.
And here's the thing. Do those resources outweigh the stuff that he costs them with his mistakes, with his bonehead moves? Does it?
No. I would say no. I would say hell no.
It's such a baffling place because I like the character, but I don't like him at all. It's not like, when I say I don't like him, it's not because, he's an unlikable guy. That's why I like him. He's a prickly personality, he's a smart mouth, and that actor's great in the role. I don't like that when push comes to shove, he is the guy that costs them everything because he cannot follow through on things. He fumbles it always.
Cardiff was all over my ass. I let myself down. All those Killjoys died because there was a rat right under my nose and I didn't see it. You wanted the good ones, Fancy.
The asshole corner only has room for one. It's all yours.
Fancy is talking to this captured Hullen, and I don't have much to say about the things that she talks about because I didn't believe in the temptation at any point, and nor did, like, Fancy only believed it when cornered into believing it because Turin trapped him in there in the first place. But for the most part, like, everything she said, I'm just like, yeah, the good try. And Fancy was saying that too. I found the whole stuff with Fancy to be the most fascinating with his reaction to Turin.
Yeah. Because it's just like, you are this. But also not wanting to show how upset he is at being betrayed.
He is in the designated asshole corner. Nice little callback there. And he doesn't deserve to be there. Turin, you take the seat, because that's what you've been. And Fancy leaves. We get the sense from how it's displayed here that Fancy's out of the group.
I really wish that I enjoyed the interrogation between Fancy and the Hullen more, because scenes like that have worked in the past. But like you said, I guess I was going to ask you, why doesn't this work? But you already gave the answer, and it's because you don't believe the temptation.
Fancy's too reassured in himself.
Yeah, and we believe in him. We've only seen him be competent. And the idea of him not being cleansed, but him in remission is really cool. And it feels wasted.
It would have been a wise thing to bring up if we saw in the season Fancy Lee, kind of not regretting per se being a human anymore, but like doing things in a manner where he was accustomed to being able to get away with certain things because he was a level 6. Like, he had invulnerability, and what's Fancy Lee like once that's taken away? He goes back to what he was like beforehand. But I do feel like there should have been a little bit of a change here, like, he does something and oh man, that really hurt my knee, or something, maybe not as corny as that, but like, you get what I'm saying? Like, he takes extra risks because he was so used to them not mattering anymore.
That would be something. But instead, he's just purely competent, and there's no reason for Turin to not trust him, really. Other than like the peer pressure of Captain Peg.
If it was peer pressure from another character we knew, then that would be something. But it's from a random character that we don't know, and what we do know is very, very, very unlikable. If Alvis was here, say, I'm thinking of characters that aren't in this episode that could offer a perspective. Alvis, if he was here, what would he have to say? And if he was a voice of opposition, how would that be presented? He's the religious man who has a connection and a different stance on the Hullen. What would that be like? Don't know. He wasn't in this episode. He's having a little nap this season, I'm finding.
He's back at the temple.
He's back at the temple, looking after Olin. Remember him?
Oh yeah, he tried to kill his brother.
He's broken.
You've mentioned it a couple of times that this episode and this season is harkening back, particularly to season 1, but also to season 2. Like, it's very much building on the foundations. And it's interesting what is coming back and what's not. Because Dutch finds a genetic bomb in the armory.
She assumes that it was Turin. It was from Turin, but Banyan claims that she had that.
Yeah, which makes sense because she's smart.
Yeah, it's an interesting pull as well. Like, season 1, that was the big thing, the genetic bomb. That was the big thing, and then it was used as a power move from Delsea and basically thrown away. Like, Delsea basically threw it away, and the show basically threw it away. Or so we thought.
Mm-hmm.
and here it is used again.
It felt like the bomb was too powerful to keep existing in the world, much like things in Babylon 5.
Oh, like a certain machine that trades life energy?
Some
That
may
was
say.
introduced in season 1 and then came back later. Yeah.
Some may say.
Some may say. Wasn't me. It wasn't me. But here's something too. How do you feel about the use of it in this episode and the grander implications of it? Not just in terms of what we can do with it in the future, but what it was supposed to be in the past. Because Klein was after that weapon the entire first season. That's what he was after.
Yeah. And we assume that what he did was his original plans for it, but maybe not.
Because in the end, Dulcea got it, not him.
Mm-hmm. And she used it to try and get more power in the night. And I love that she refuses to give up her title.
Oh, yeah, she refuses to give it up. But no, like, Klein wanted it for bigger, grander, you could say more noble reasons, and Dulcea co-opted it for her own petty reasons.
Yeah, I don't think it was a very high bar to try and be more noble than Dulcea Kendry.
No, but it still involves mass murder.
Yes.
Because what are the things that you can do with this genetic bomb now?
Attack the Holland. They get turned to ash. I like that Johnny's just like, I don't know, it might kill all of us. We'll see. We'll see.
Because humanity is 50% of the mixture here.
Yeah, like it's based off human DNA, so there's a lot of similarities. Good balance of talking in a way that's suitable for the audience, but having enough science-y stuff in there to make it sound like it's based on science.
It's a very satisfying payoff as well, because what we have been given about the Hullen's biology and how they operate and how they're connected, to reveal that and then pay off that this genetic bomb from season 1, that's whole thing is once it is attached to a certain genetic trait, it can wipe it all out within a radius, just makes like a complete, like, it just lines up so beautifully with as a thing to take down the Hullen, because that's their whole MO, is being connected genetically speaking.
It makes me wonder if they got the source of like the original pool. If they got that and put it in a genetic bomb that was big enough, could they wipe out all of the Hullen?
We were mentioning earlier that the way that the technology works in this series has a very meticulous nature to it. This is connected to this, and if it isn't,
continuity.
If it isn't directly connected, there's something that could be like a makeshift or a fallback
they
of this. They
acknowledge that as well. Like, there's points where it's like, we've seen nothing like this, but I suppose it could be like this thing and that thing, but it's light years ahead of what we have. That context is always given.
Because we have two means to take down the Hullen in great numbers. Poisoning the pool, which is what Klein was working on throughout the second season, and then what he was trying to work on throughout the first season is this genetic bomb. So we have two methods that stem from Klein in part to be able to take them down on a bigger scale.
Klein knew his shit. And was prepared to do anything. And then you can say the same thing about Anila.
She is her father's daughter.
And it's terrifying as well. Because she just goes, I just wipe all of them off the board.
I am actually an intelligent, calculating military tactician.
I had you two playing with each other, so you weren't looking at what I was doing.
Because the majority of the story on the Hullen Armada is Delsea and Gander snipping at each other.
Contest.
They're pissing on each other's shoes and trying to win favor with Anila. And the reveal, as you said, is Anila made that all happen so that they were distracted from what she was actually doing, which was getting everything in place, getting Davin, trying to take Davin, and if not, take his blood.
Mm-hmm.
Take his blood. Take his DNA.
Yeah.
Something. She's got that. And now, just destroy all the racks. Fuck them. We know that they're going to betray us eventually, so let's kill them now.
And what was more powerful in that conversation that she has with Delsea, like very much for me, the thing that I latched onto was, when I kill her, she will be alone. She is going to take everything from Dutch, and that scares me.
Well, the insightful thing was that this has happened to her before, and so she wants to inflict it on Dutch. Because Anila was left alone. She had no one come to save her.
When I kill her, I want her to be completely alone. Like I was. For years. No help coming. No friends. Fireworks are a nice way to kick things off, don't you think?
There is a cool thing about having this, like, collective, not pure hive mind group. This group of people who all exist on the same wavelength, basically. But their leader is insane, and they can't exist on the same wavelength as her because she fluctuates wildly. And they have to try and, like, use their skills as, like, this calm, steady force and try and ease her into where they need her to go,
because
even though she's still in charge.
She's too powerful to overthrow.
Yeah, she can make your head explode if she wants to. And then you throw in the wild card. Delsea Kendry.
The ending of this episode was jaw-dropping. It's one thing for a show of this time, of this age, to have a plot like with Pre, where he's gay, it's a relationship, but he's to the side, and we don't know when or if they're going to come back to his relationship. It's another for a show that has teased the sexuality of a character. You could argue queer baiting.
Mm-hmm.
Then to actually follow through and have her kiss another woman. And for them both to be, at this stage, ongoing characters where that relationship will continue to matter and continue to be messy.
You were surprised that the kiss was reciprocated.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, oh, okay, yeah, Delsea is going to lean in, and then it's not going to be because she's perhaps playing her hand a bit too much in the manipulation, and instead, no, it is mutual, it is reciprocated, and it's all the better for it.
Yeah.
It's so much more interesting.
That moment is way more impactful.
To talk a bit about what you were saying, though, I do think the 2010s is a fascinating time for media to look at.
There's a lot of shifts that are going on in
big swings.
Representation.
Yes, in representation, in queer representation, because you have things like Sense8 exists. You know, Sense8 already came out by this point. That's like super, super gay. Like we introduce a character
like,
with from
that's for the community.
Yeah, and that's made by like well-known members of the community, the Wachowskis. So like and JMS, I guess. Legendary JMS, Mr. I'm going to give I love Talia. But we had shows taking big swings, ones that were in the genre of science fiction, ones that were dramas, so and we're just talking about TV here. Let's not even get into movies, but like in TV. But then you also had a lot of shows that unfortunately used this type of thing to be bait.
Mm-hmm.
Sherlock, to an extent, Hannibal, like these are just coming to my mind. Or you had things like Star Trek Discovery, where it will be like, we have gay characters, we don't let them really be romantic on screen, and we'll kill them for drama's sake. And then we'll bring them back. And then you'll cheer because we did the bare minimum. And then you have Killjoys, where we've had just, gay characters, or at least coded characters, be throughout the show. And then here we are with like 2 of the lead characters, one of them played by the lead actress, and now they're just like fully making out at the end of this episode. And here's the thing I love.
It's just there.
Here's the thing I love. They're both bad people. Like, they're evil. And yet you're like, yes, I'm getting my evil lesbians, yes. And that's a trope in itself. But here's the thing. We all love an evil toxic Yuri. We all love it. Because it's fun. These characters are fun. So it's fun to see them use their manipulative...
It's so much fun, Jan.
It's so much fun, Jan, to see these 2 characters use their toxic, manipulative traits at one another, and it actually like complements them so well that the connection that they have feels genuine.
We have said before, we will say again, they both get turned on by doing evil shit.
And the kiss between them, it does not feel like one of just manipulation. It's passionate. It's raw. It's real.
Yeah. There's some connection between them.
On our rating system of Yum being bad and Yum Yum being good, what do you give Attack the Rack?
I don't know. I am feeling very conflicted about this episode because there is a lot of good. There is a lot of things that I did not like, but I don't know if I would call it out as just being bad. So, like, I feel wrong giving it either rating. But in the binary...
No half yums.
Yum yum.
Yum yum.
I am with you. I am tentative. I am unsure. I feel conflicted. I'm giving it a yum yum.
Yum yum.
And here's the reason why. These issues that we have with this episode are not unique to this episode. These are long-term issues that, for us are problems. And maybe for someone else, they don't have an issue with this, or maybe they like it. And that's fair. Those are all fair. But when we give like a yum to an episode, it has to like cross a line to a certain degree with some of those things. Like if we have long-term problems and we give something a yum, it's usually because that episode brought it to an extent that was too much.
Forefront or had some kind of failure.
Or
this episode achieved the things that it set out to do and had good moments, it had good scenes, it had solid plots, but it was also annoying.
And after an episode all about Pre, anything was going to be in the shadow of it. That's just a given. Of course, that's just a given. And Pre barely shows up in this episode. Rachel, are you keen to hear what the next episode is called?
I accidentally saw it on IMDb.
What? How could you? So how about you tell us?
Is it Armageddon Now?
Completely wrong.
No? Okay.
It's Necropolis Now.
Oh.
It's a play on Apocalypse Now, of course.
Ah.
Necropolis Now. Very interesting episode. This is an episode I remember
Zombies?
because we'll have to find out, won't we? We'll have to find out.
But we usually like hearing my predictions based on the title.
Okay, so zombies? You think zombies?
Yeah.
You think zombies exist in this world?
I think there's gonna be like something zombie-ish about the Hullen specifically in this episode that's gonna be like elevated.
Any other thoughts on what could be happening? Anything from this episode leave you going, I think this could be...
Zeph's back.
She cracked open the remnant.
Yeah.
She better be back. Unless she's taking a good-fashioned nap.
With Elvis?
Yeah, Elvis and her and having a little nap. What's her name that ran the bazaar's been having a nap for a season now.
Yeah,
We haven't seen her in a season.
Having a dream about Davin's nipples.
Oh, Zeph?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And Elvis.
And Elvis's nipples?
No, Elvis is dreaming about Davin's nipples.
Oh, I don't think so. I think.
No, it's a nightmare for him.
Am I going to go? Okay, I'm just going to say this. I don't know what you'll say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to be brave here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Elvis is the most heterosexual character in the show. I'm just saying it. I do not get any whiffs from him at all. I think he's too much of like a dude. I'm into ladies.
Yeah, I agree.
Is there anyone more heterosexual in this show for you?
Nobody comes to mind because, like, I'm like, oh, that person, and then I'm like, no. In that scene, they do kind of give no.
What about Turin? He's ace to me. He gives off no vibes of being interested. He's so pissed off. I think he's not interested in anything. The idea that Turin could look at a woman and be turned on is almost unbelievable to me. I think he would do it like sarcastically, like, "Yeah, nice one, Dutch. You got pants that are tight. You know who's tight? My asshole."
Yeah.
Thinking about how you're gonna give me an ulcer later. Like, that's him.
Yeah.
That's him in a nutshell. Fancy? He's pretty. But, like, he dresses fanciful, but that doesn't mean anything.
No.
Like, he seems, like, pretty horny for the ladies. But I think Elvis is the most hetero one. Maybe this is contentious. Yumlings, write in. Let us know. Where can people contact us, Rachel? Where can people find us?
They can find us on the various social medias under yumyumpod or yumyumpodcast. Email is yumyumpod@gmail.com.
Make sure to rate, review, share the podcast, and the ability to support the podcast on Patreon would be greatly appreciated. We've been posting so much content over there, and we release our episodes early, and we are doing reactions to Killjoys. So if you want to see Rachel's real-time reactions to some of the crazy nonsense that goes on in this show, unedited, head on over to Patreon. You can also see our edited reactions on YouTube. But other than all of the usual things we say at the end of an episode, something to ponder. Something to ponder, everyone.
Other than who is the most hetero character of Killjoys? Okay. Lay it on me.
Who else should have taken their pants off in this episode? It feels unfair that only Dutch got to take her pants off. Who else should have gone pantsless in this episode?
Johnny.
Oh, wow, Johnny. Why Johnny?
Gotta get another Yeti comment in.
I was going to say Turin because he basically showed his ass in this episode.